Hello, hola, Marco. So, yeah, it's been some weeks, hasn't it? Yeah. But you know how it goes, right? You have work, the holidays, family, friends, and a dozen other things that just demand your attention. Life was lifing, and I just didn't have the bandwidth to keep up with the videos. But I'm back, and I have some updates I want to talk about. I want to talk about my shoulder injury. I want to talk about a discovering a certain health issue I have. Uh, Also, the last 10 pounds before reaching my goal weight of 200 pounds. I've been struggling so much with that. And exciting news, I'm at plastic surgery. So let's get into it. So let me start with my shoulder. Okay. So several weeks ago at a CrossFit WOD, part of the WOD was doing a handstand hold up against the wall. You were on the wall for 1 minute, then you came off the wall and did that 5 times. So for 5 minutes, individual minutes, I was up in a handstand position. And that was a lot of strain on my shoulders. Now, if I had been smart about it and gave it some time to rest and recover, I might not have injured it like I did. But 2 days after that WOD, I went to Yoga Sculpt. And Yoga Sculpt is yoga plus cardio plus weights. And they're not heavy weights, but still, you move your shoulder in, out with the weights. And I messed up my right shoulder really bad. I injured it. I couldn't move it for like several days. I couldn't move it. And it's been slowly recovering. I still have trouble bringing my hand straight up and down without effort. I mean, this side's easy, but this side takes effort to do. It's almost as if it's already fatigued. And so any overhead pressing movement is difficult for me. Like my left hand will go up before my right hand does. And when you're doing like push jerks and split jerks, that's not good. That's not good. Fortunately, my personal trainer knows about this and we're working on recovery. I was going to see a physical therapist. Actually, I should probably go see a doctor. But I've been recovering, right? I've been getting stronger, I've been getting better. So I was scheduled to go see a physical therapist. I had to reschedule because again, life was lifing, and I didn't go back to check because again, I feel like I'm getting stronger. And my personal trainer, while not a licensed physical therapist, does have some skill in that area, and so we're working on getting that to recover, and so I can move things around like I'm supposed to. So yeah, that's where my shoulder is right now. It's better. It's definitely better. I just still have a little trouble with this motion here. But that's where we are. That's where I am with that. Now, something I've recently come to learn is that I have a condition called hemochromatosis. Let me explain. So, I believe I mentioned before that my primary care physician noted in my blood work that my ferritin levels were rising. Ferritin is a protein that helps store iron in your cells, and since my ferritin levels were rising, it was indicative that I was storing too much iron. I believe a normal level for a male is somewhere below 400 nanograms per milliliter, and mine were over 400 into the 500s. So my primary care physician referred me to a hematologist. The hematologist ran some tests, and he came to believe that I had the condition called hemochromatosis. Now, hemochromatosis is a disorder where your body stores and absorbs too much iron. And what happens is that the body will store that iron in your major organs, which causes oxidative damage, which can lead to some serious health issues, some potentially even deadly health issues. So the doctor wanted to run a genetic test to see if I have the gene for it or the mutation of the gene for it. And this seemed unlikely because no one else in my family has these symptoms or these issues. And sure enough, when the test came back, it came back negative. But the thing is that apparently the test is for the most common mutation, the most common version of the mutation. And that doesn't mean I don't have hemochromatosis. It just means I just don't have the most common mutation for that gene. But either way, it doesn't matter because the treatment is still the same. I have to give blood every 3 months. Now, the needles. Okay, so you've got flu shots, right? Flu shot, small little needle, quick, in, out, no problem, okay? The needles for giving blood, they're long and they're thick. They're spears. They're spears that go right into the arm, right into the arm, okay? But that's okay. I can take it, okay? But I give blood every 3 months, and so far, it's going well. I don't seem to have any particular issues. My health is okay. Um, yeah, I'm managing the condition. I have a follow-up appointment with the hematologist in February, and everything's going well so far. The only thing I've really noticed, or that I find interesting, anyways, is that after I give blood, I notice that I have a strong appetite. I have a strong compulsion to eat, which is different from being hungry. I can tell the difference now between having an appetite and being hungry because I don't have any hunger pangs. My stomach isn't growling, but I definitely want to eat something. And that makes sense, of course, because, I just gave away all these nutrients and I gave away all this liquid, and my brain is like, feed me, feed me. You just gave all this stuff away for free. I want it back. So, yes. So I feel a strong compulsion to eat. The only other thing about having hemochromatosis is I do need to be a little bit more careful about my diet, which we'll get to in a second here. But yes, so far everything's being managed. Things are going well with it in that front. So yeah, that's going well. All right. So now let me talk about the struggle I'm having with losing the last 10 pounds before reaching my goal weight of 200 pounds. Okay, I am below the 210s, but I'm yo-yoing. I go from 204 to 206, 205, 208. I haven't been able to actually reach my goal yet, and it's been a real struggle. Now, in my previous long form video before the break, I talked about using AI to help you come up with a nutrition plan to help you with your nutrition goals. And I was talking about the potential pitfalls of using AI, but I did say that at the end of the video that I was going to try it, I'm going to use it. And so I did plan on using it. And at the time, my trainer had given me a nutrition guideline, 100 grams of protein and approximately 1,500 calories a day. And I was doing that. It was working great. Every month I was losing about 10 pounds, but these last 10 pounds, it's been a real struggle. Recently, a couple of weeks ago, my trainer modified the nutrition guideline. He bumped the grams of protein up from 100 grams to 130 grams, and he didn't give me a specific calorie cap. That doesn't mean I'm supposed to go all out, but it does mean that 130 grams of protein might take me over 1,500 calories, and that's fine. And part of the reason for this is because of the anticipated plastic surgeries I am planning on having next year. And this is to help me with recovery. And I also want to gain as much as I can before the surgeries, because when I have the surgeries, I'm not going to be able to work out for weeks, for at least 6 weeks per surgery. And it'll be at least 3 to 5 surgeries. So yeah, I want to build up as much as I can before I won't be able to work out and I won't be able to, maintain or get any stronger. But I've so far used AI, used the new guidelines to come up with a nutrition plan. And I've worked with ChatGPT and I've worked with Microsoft Copilot. I'm also going to look into how Google Gemini does it and probably how Claude AI does it. And that's kind of the point of my previous video, to see the comparisons, to compare and contrast how the different AIs present you this information. And I'm going to report on that in its own video. But I've also got some advice from a fellow CrossFitter. This guy, he suggested I try and do a 36-hour fast. Okay, this is something he's done, and he explained the benefits of it. And he suggested that it might help me get through my plateau. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it this Friday. I'm going to try it in my next work cycle. Okay. At 10 p.m. Friday, I'm going to stop eating. And then I'm going to restart on 10 a.m. Sunday, which should be 36 hours. Okay. I'm not going to go to CrossFit. I'm not going to go to yoga, but I am going to walk, because apparently that doing some exercise or when going through the 36-hour fast is still useful and not necessarily a bad idea. just not intense, heavy exercise. And I'm going to report on that. I'm going to make a video about that, and I'll let you know how that goes. Wish me luck. I'm going to need it. I feel like I'm going to need it. Okay. Now for some exciting news. I have my first plastic surgery date scheduled. April 24th, 2026. I'm going under the knife. Okay. Now, I'm a little disappointed because I want to get this done as soon as possible. If possible, I was hoping for October, but no. Okay. Apparently the doctor has other patients, and apparently, he wants to spend time with his family during the holidays. Crazy, I know. Okay. But the earliest they can get me in is August 24th, and that gives me some time, which I find useful because, again, I want to build up, get as strong as I can, get as much stamina as I can, get as much flexibility and mobility as I can, because once I have the surgeries, the doctor said it'll be at least 6 weeks of recovery per surgery, and I'm looking at anywhere between 3 to 5 surgeries. So basically, all of next year, I'm going to be in and out of the hospital. The doctor said that for the first 2 weeks after the surgeries, I can't do anything. I can't go to work. I can't drive. And of course, since I can't do anything, I won't be able to work out, and I'm going to lose some of my momentum, some of my gains, which is a concern because I don't want to lose my momentum. Also, I'm going to, move backwards, so to speak. And that's just disheartening. I made some real progress. I like the progress I've made. I don't want to stall, and I'm concerned that if I lose momentum, then it might be particularly difficult to get over that. However, as I understand it, if you were somebody who was working out regularly and often, and then you stop for whatever reason, and you pick it up again, your body recovers quickly relative to someone who never hasn't worked out like ever or for a really, really long time. So, and again, I have an excellent support system. I have a personal trainer, I go to CrossFit, yoga, I'm trying Pilates again. So I feel like I'm in good hands. It's just a concern that I'm going to be losing momentum. It's a concern I'm going to be losing not all my gains, but some significant gains. But there's nothing I can do about that. And it's really a matter of attitude, right? Having a good mindset. Once I am able to work out again regularly, I plan on going, as strong as I can, as hard as I can. And again, I have a good support system for that. So that's good news. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm back. And again, I'm going to be providing video updates, comparing the different nutrition plans from different AIs, update on the 36-hour fast. And all next year, I'm going to be documenting my plastic surgery journey. I'm looking forward to it, actually. I'm a little excited. I'm like, okay, next chapter in my life. Next chapter. It's going to be interesting. And hopefully, everything turns out well. But yeah, until next time, thank you, and adios.